What's up guys, it's Crash and I just got done playing about 4 hours of the Delta Force Hawk Ops alpha test, and I wanted to share my thoughts on it while it was fresh in my brain before I went to bed and forgot everything because I'm old. And that's what happens when you get old, you forget stuff. So I'm gonna hit it while it's fresh, while it's up in my frontal medulla cortex oblongata, and I'm gonna get my thoughts out to you guys and let you know what I think. But first off, broad overview, you can tell right away that Delta Force Hawk Ops was heavily inspired by Battlefield 2042, almost the way that Arena Breakout Infinite was also heavily inspired by Escape from Tarkov. It's that kind of same vibe. Also, they're all kind of interrelated because the game felt a lot also kind of like Arena Breakout Infinite as far as like the engine and kind of the core DNA of it goes. But there are some differences that really impressed me with Delta Force Hawk Ops, and I want to talk about the game from a broad level. Has the two modes, right? You have the Battlefield, breakthrough type mode right now, and then you have the extraction mode, which is like a more in-depth kind of DMZ. And I was really not that impressed with the Havoc Warfare right now. I'm definitely not ready to write it off because it is an alpha test. And if you look at this alpha test versus the last couple Battlefield early betas, this one ran much smoother. I was pretty impressed. You can just hop in and play it right away and everything works relatively well. A couple audio bugs here and there, but it just kind of feels like to me the nagging part of the specialist came back. When you have big team battles and a lot of people fighting in one place, those specialist abilities started to grind on me a little bit. And if you guys remember, the OGs remember on this channel when I was covering the lead up to Battlefield 2042, I was talking about specialists. I wasn't very excited to have them in All Out Warfare, but they would have fit in Hazard Zone was in Battlefield 2042. And this extraction mode called Hazard Ops, now it's called something else. It's tactical something in the game. They appear to have changed the name. But if you look at that, it is actually laughable to compare the two because the Delta Force Hawk Ops extraction mode is far more advanced. It is much more complete. There's a lot of stuff to do in it. And overall, for as much as I was a little bit disappointed in the All Out Warfare, I was incredibly impressed. Now, based on things over the history, I had my expectations set pretty low. But with the extraction mode, I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised and fairly impressed with where this is at in an alpha state. And let me kind of expand on that. Again, if I was going to play, like if Delta Force released how it is now, it would be an acceptable game to release. There's not a lot wrong with it. A few audio bugs is really all I came across. Some weird UI stuff with menus and switching game modes with squads, but stuff that is not game breaking by any means. And if I wanted that Battlefield experience, I would probably still go play Battlefield 5. It has more updated movement. And just, you guys have known for a long time, I think the Frostbite engine, everything about Battlefield 5 is pretty awesome. But the extraction mode might be one of my go-tos. It really feels pretty good as it is in this state right now. I'm excited to go to bed and wake up and stream tomorrow and play it some more. I took off of work to do so. So why do I like it? There are a lot of quality of life things. It is like DMZ, so it's accessible. You have things like you can see your teammates. There's no friendly fire. The map has a really thorough UI where you can ping stuff and share waypoints and all those kind of quality of, I don't really want to say quality of life, but not hardcore, not milsim, right? A little bit more casual and arcadey mechanics to it, but you still have those super tense moments. We killed some juicy guys tonight and took all their loot, and it was exciting to find crazy guns already and take those out, and I'll be able to use them tomorrow. But quality of life, just like Arena Breakout Infinite, quality of life improvements take the spotlight here, in my opinion, because there are things like that you don't even think about. Like when you're looting something, you hover over it, it tells you the price. So you don't have to have an entire catalog of thousands items in your head. You don't have to have a spreadsheet on the second screen that shows how much things are worth in a giant, massive economy. You hover over it, and on the screen, it tells you how much. So at a moment's notice within raid, you can decide, hey, if I want to keep this, I can. And you know what happens? If you have something in your backpack that's cheaper than what you hover over here, you basically drag it over the thing you want to get rid of, and it does it in one drag. So you can hover over this. Okay, this is worth more. Drop it on my backpack. It takes care of the rest, so you can spend more time in the game. I think that is really cool. So far, the AI identification is really good. The AI running around, they have kind of red accents to them, so you can pick up on that right away. The other thing that's really neat is X's on the map on bodies for a while. If you kill an AI or if you kill a PMC, there's an X on the map so you don't lose their body, because what happens is when they despawn, they go away and there's a little pelican case with all their stuff in it, and it can be hard to see. So they put an X on the map to help you find it, which is really cool. Another thing that I didn't really think that I needed are quests have hyperlinks. So when you hover over quests like the gunsmith quest, it has a hyperlink to the gun and the attachment where you can find it. It's really cool. And if you have to find stuff, you can hover over that item and click on it, and it'll tell you where you can buy it, like if you can buy it on the auction house or from a trader's, or where it spawns on the map. So it can tell you on the map where you're more likely to find it. You don't have to go out to a wiki. You see what I'm saying? Like you can do everything you need to do to focus on playing the game within the game. It's really cool. There are also contracts in game like DMZ. You can go activate them, take care of the boss, take care of enemies in the area. That's the ones I found so far. Another thing that I didn't realize I needed is it auto rotates stuff to fit in your stash. So if you have a vertical slot and you move a gun over to it, it'll turn it vertical for you. You don't have to do that to fit in that spot. So it makes inventory a lot faster. The auto sort feature in the inventory works really well. You can batch sell things. If you get done with a raid and you just collected a bunch of stuff that you don't really want to keep, you can batch sell and sell everything with a couple clicks. Again, when you sell something in the inventory, it is really, really cool. You right click on it and click sell, and a box comes up. It says, here's how much you can get for it on the auction. Here's how much you can sell it to a trader, and you click one of the two and you're done. So again, you don't have to do a bunch of clicks. You don't have to research what stuff costs. You don't have to click around to this trader. What is it here? Okay, now I got to find it on the flea market. It's here. Okay, which one's the best place to sell it on? No, it's all at a glance. You right click sell, you get both values, and it's gone. The other thing that I wasn't sure about, I thought was a little too arcadey, was there are no magazines. But, and what I mean by that is instead of loading magazines and switching magazines or dropping mags, if you have the ammo in your pockets, and you just reload. You just reload from the ammo that you have on you. I think that's pretty cool. That's, you know, similar to like DMZ was. And honestly, I kind of liked it. I kind of think it's tedious. I get it's immersive. It's cool. It's a cool detail. But sometimes it's kind of tedious to sit there and pack mags, and it's not that fun, in my opinion. So being able to do that and just have ammo on you and the gun reloads is really cool. The gunsmith, there's a lot of weapons so far for an alpha. There's a ton of different attachments. They're not overwhelming in my opinion. It's pretty easy to set up and build a gun and purchase it and get going. Overall, it's just like, man, there's a lot of stuff in here I didn't realize that I needed, but it's really, really cool. As far as downsides go right now, and this could have been the reason I didn't like the Havoc Warfare mode as much, is the mouse sensitivity is really jacked. Like, because I like to have a little bit faster hip fire to look around, and then when I ADS, I like it to be slower, and I kind of measure out my sensitivities and convert them to be similar across all games. But how they had it, there wasn't really an ADS slider. There was a hip fire magnifier, and it didn't work right. So you kind of think backwards. You have to set like a lower sensitivity for your ADS and then a higher multiplier for your hip fire, and it's just really backwards, and it didn't work either. My hip fire was going crazy. My ADS was barely moving, and that didn't really work. So the mouse sensitivity needs to be fixed. I think it works. I just think how the sensitivity is applied, it needs to be adjusted. There weren't any like crazy bugs with the mice or anything like that, but that definitely does need fixed. And then honestly, at the end of the day, I don't know what microtransactions are going to be like in the game. At the end of the day, you got to kind of wonder about that. Right now in the game, the UI is really noisy, man. Like, it kind of stresses me out. There's like 3 different battle pass things, and there's like a black site, which is your hideout area, which is kind of cool. You can actually walk around in like your base, which is really sweet. But there's different levels to manage, and like you can level up certain parts of it, and that's on one screen. And then there's different quest lines on another screen. And then down in the low left, there's another thing you can click on that has different quests on different tabletops with different things. And there's like 3 or 4 different currencies that I saw. and you can buy these tickets for items, as object tickets or whatever in the armory. And I don't know what they do, because once I purchased them, I couldn't find them. So there's some stuff in the UI that's a little noisy when it comes to currencies and things like that. But that's really my only gripe. As far as the game goes, I had a lot of fun playing the game tonight. We had some really good raids. I also got killed and shot in the face a few times, but it really wasn't the end of the world. I've made a fair amount of money, and I'm kind of off to the races with the extraction game mode. I would like to see, of course, always new maps, new content, new guns and things like that, but I'm sure that's coming. For an alpha test, this is truly an alpha test. It's in a really polished spot. A lot of quality of life stuff that I didn't even realize should go in a game. Like being able to see what stuff costs in raid and hover over it is so nice. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys get a chance to play it. If you want to come by the Twitch stream, I'm going to be live quite a bit on Tuesday. But anyway, guys, if you haven't got to play it yet, come by the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/crash8. And while I'm live tomorrow, you guys can stop in, check it out. If you watch for an hour or leave the stream up for an hour, you get a Twitch drop that contains a Steam key. And you guys can also hop into it. You can request access over on Steam as well, and you may or may not get in, as well as I believe you can request access on their Level Infinite Pass launcher. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I think you can request stuff that way. And that's really all I had. I'm excited for you guys to get into it. Let me know what you think of it so far from what you've seen, if you're going to get into play it, and what your opinion is of everything. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you made it to the end, I cannot thank you enough. You guys are truly a blessing to my family, for all the support on the channel, and I'd love to see you on the next one.